Big up, everybody. Welcome back to TJ Warren TV. Welcome back to another live stream. And let me tell you right now, this is a late one. Obviously, if you're watching right now, you know it's late. If you're one of the three absolute savages watching us at what time is it right now? 1:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning in the UK.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys know that it's late, but we've been talking about doing this for a long time. Like me, Will, some of the other American Waffle guys, that we need to be bridging that gap between the late shows in the UK and the morning shows in the UK. So this is what we're doing. This is called the late show here on TJ Warren TV, and our first guest is my man, my American Waffle brother, Football Carnage, my bro. How you doing? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm good, bro. Nice to make my debut on the channel. Technically, you know what I'd say? That Pochettino stream was my debut, but so I'll count that as like preseason. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't my official debut. Like this is the official debut right here.
Official, yeah.
I like your intro, bro. You know, I was back there about my head. It kind of gives me like 70s kind of vibes, like the music.
Dude, you gotta come in here. It's good vibes. It's a good groove. Like as soon as I heard it, I was just like, this is
that's the one. That's the one.
That's the one. That's it. No, and I need it. I'm working on an outro, but yeah, no, that. It's cold. It's cold. Thank you very much. It's very cold. But yeah, man. And big up everybody in the chat already. We already got Jacob. He was telling us to smash the likes 10 hours ago. Anfield Uncle Rods is here. Big up Warrior J every time. Big up AJ every single time. Make sure you guys are hitting the likes. If you're watching on playback, make sure that you are subscribing. And of course, make sure that you are subscribed to Football Carnage. His link is in the title, people. His link is in the title. A1 content creator, B+ waffler. I'm not going to say A+ because you're a guest. I'm not going to say A+. You're a guest.
I mean, wait, but is it waffle or is it just facts that people can't comprehend?
It's no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm clocking. It's facts that people don't want to hear. It is what it is.
You know, it's like I'm real objective. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, like my taste could be out there. You know, sometimes I'm coming from left field. But when you actually, when you actually think about it, right? And you know what I'm saying? Like maybe it might not hit you when I first say it, but like maybe 20 minutes after I'm done talking to you and you thinking you like, oh shit. Yeah, bro. Like, what was cooking?
Once you have a chance to deep it.
Yeah, like it's like one of them things. Like, it's like it slowly creep up on you.
Yeah, no, it's just like, oh shit, Will. Oh,
but now because we're not talking,
maybe Indrick is baby Pele.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, you know what I'm saying? Look, like we don't gotta talk about the next great striker of this sport, just yet. Maybe we could talk about that a little bit later. Being that this is an Arsenal channel.
We will talk about Madrid, by the way. You're not getting away with that. We will talk about Madrid.
We don't have to, though. We don't have to. Don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry.
We don't have to, but we will. Don't worry. No, here's the thing. We were talking about this backstage. So people that don't know, Will is a Real Madrid fan, if you couldn't tell by that big ass flag behind him. And by the way, I rate all the Pokemon. I rate all the Star Wars. I rate the Jordan. I rate all of it, bro. I rate all of it.
My guy, yes, sir.
So here's the thing. I know people may not know this, but your Prem team is Arsenal,
yes.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I got like this is one of the things I wanted to talk about before we got into the match, because obviously I was on the road. I couldn't watch the game. I watched it on replay today. The highlights made it look better than it was. So I'm really, really glad that I watched it. But I'm just telling you right now, well, no, I want to ask you. So we're coming into 5 years under this manager.
Yep.
At this point, this is his team. I feel like it was his team last season. Are you like, where do you land on the Arteta scale? Because I'm not going to lie to you. I have difficulty answering the question, because I want to support the club. I want to support the boys. And by proxy, I have to support the manager and hope that he does well. But at the same time, it's on record that I don't think he's going to be the guy to get it done. But what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah. So you and I are very similar when it comes to Arsenal thinking, right? Like I'm more of a realistic kind of fan. Right. And I try to not view, because again, the only two clubs that I do care about in football is Real Madrid and then Arsenal. If it wasn't Real Madrid, I'd be only an Arsenal fan, So like I do try to not look at it from a Madrid lens. Okay. But I'm very much sack a manager if the job's not getting done. Right. And I personally lean towards Arteta out. Right. I think he did a good job to get the squad to the point that it's at. But I don't think he's the guy that's going to get it over the line, right? I think like he's the guy that maybe leads you here, and then maybe you need somebody else to now come that's a little bit better to get you over the line. But to me, Arteta out. And to be honest, I would have sacked him when he blew the 8-point lead. So he wouldn't even have got a chance to make it into last season because he would have been gone by then. To me, that's unacceptable. I know that you're going against Man City, and I know people want to make it seem like you can't win anything as long as Pep is there. But I get that. But at the end of the day, find a way, right? I think by the end of this summer, Arteta might be close to spending damn near $700 million. And all that you have to show for it is the FA Cup that was won with Unai Emery's squad, which is a squad that everybody says was so trash and he had to completely rebuild. Well, if it wasn't for those bums, he wouldn't have a trophy.
Exactly.
So I lean more so towards Arteta out. For me, I think at elite big clubs like I know people troll and whatnot, but Arsenal are the third biggest club in England, and you guys are in danger of being the fourth. Because if Chelsea get it together, I think Chelsea are only a few major trophies behind, and once they win a few more of those, now Arsenal are the fourth biggest. Right? It's bad enough that they already have the 2 Champions Leagues and Arsenal don't. So I believe that at these big elite clubs, it should be a revolving door. Like, you get 2 years. If it's not working, you got to go. Like, that's just how it is.
I think it should be shorter than that, especially when you're talking about big up Bearded Gooner, my guy, big up Bearded Gooner every single time. My G. Make sure that you guys are subscribing to Loose Cannons TV as well. No, I mean, I'm in agreement. I just think that if we were going to can him, we should have done it after he blew the lead. But now you got to ride the horse that brought you. Like this season is definitely it. Like last season, I was saying the same thing, but this season, I think the worm is turning a little bit in the fan base. I think the fan base is kind of realizing to say, hey, we've spent the money that's required. We have the players that are required. I mean, if you ask half this fan base, they'll say players like Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard are world-class. You can include Saliba, Gabriel in there, and they can say that's depending on the day.
I think a lot of Arsenal
Ben White kind of had Ben White kind of had a stinker in my opinion on this weekend, but no, a lot of Arsenal fans are trotting this team out to say, okay, these are world-class players. But then you go, okay, so why can't world-class players get it done? What's missing? Missing?
And the thing is, people only just talk about the Premier League, right? Like, yes, I think the expectations for Arsenal has to be win the league, right? But there's also the FA Cup.
Absolutely.
There's the Carabao Cup before the past seasons, right? So now you're in Champions League. There was Europa League. Arteta can't get it done anywhere. Like, it's not like you've won other cups and now it's like, okay, where's the Prem? Bro, but that's all that people want to kind of focus on. There's other trophies that could be won. This is not the NBA. It's not the NFL. It's not like there's only one trophy at the end of the season.
Right.
It's 4. And it's like, you got to get it done in one of these competitions. Like, and he keeps bidding them off. And the thing that actually pissed me off this summer about Arsenal is they're moving in this transfer window like they're the team that just won the league 4 times like in a row. Like, it's a very slow window. For me, there's no team in the Premier League this season that has more pressure on them than what Arsenal do. Because I think if you don't win it this year, he has to be sacked.
Yeah.
He has to.
No, and I'm not talking second place. I'm talking a win. I'm talking win it.
Yes.
Win.
And if you don't win the Premier League, then you got to – I wouldn't even say a Carabao Cup. Even though Carabao Cup technically is counted as like a major honor, right? Like, you count that technically. But Carabao Cup's not enough. You got to either win one of the Prem, maybe a FA could save you, or Champions League. So, I mean, you got to pick. You got to pick. But for me, I just don't really believe in this manager. And he's also a weirdo. Arteta's a weirdo, bro. Like, all the tactics that, like, I'm seeing him do. Bro, like, did you hear about how there was a team dinner and he had pickpocket people coming to teach the players to always be on guard? Like, bro, nobody's going to pickpocket your phone during a match. What are you talking about, bro? Nah, this guy. And then I saw him talk about Calafiori. This man said he fell in love with his aura and his presence. I said, bro, he sounds like a Twitter train, like a, what's it called?
Dude, I swear to God, they have to have people writing his post matches, like they're feeding, like it has to be scripted. Like, no way. Oh man, he's got the aura. I'm like, what is he doing? Like, this isn't a Pantene Pro V commercial. He's playing left back or center back for Arsenal Football Club.
And like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, is Arsenal a modeling agency now, or is it still an elite sports club? Because I just can't tell by the fans and how the manager is now talking about some of his players.
Right. And don't get me wrong. Like I appreciate how far Arteta has gotten us, but if it doesn't happen this season, I mean, this fan base has to kind of start realizing that, he's probably not it. We have 6 players that are in their prime. Obviously there are still positions that you and I would have liked to see addressed, and especially you, Bearded Gooner. I know that there are positions that you would have liked to see addressed. I mean, we still have Zinchenko giving the ball away in the midfield against Wolves at home, so it's one of those things. So hold on. So here's the thing, BG. I agree with you. Like, this is not a debate. I'm saying other fans say that. So if those other fans want to say, out of one side of their mouth, say, okay, Arteta's the guy to get us there, and then on the other side of the mouth they say, okay, they're world-class players. Okay, then what's wrong?
Exactly, because then now if City end up winning it again, then the excuse is going to be, oh, well, look at City squad and all this stuff. But it's like, look how highly a lot of people online rate these players. To me, I think the closest player that you have to being world class for me is between Saka and Saliba.
Yeah,
I think Gabriel's been playing better than him since the World Cup. Just
absolutely.
In general. But I think just on just talent and just like ability, I think Saliba is the guy. And I think that Saka, like his performances, like you kind of can't discount that. He's done it. He did it in Champions League. He does it for England. Like he's always reliable. And I don't think he really ever puts in bad performances, right? Like at worst, it's 6 out of 10.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there was a couple of times where, when you hear criticism about Saliba is when he does an average job. Yeah. Like when he gets a 6, that's when people start shitting on him. And it's just like, no, he played an average game. Just because he isn't going out there and getting 7s and 8s. Like, and don't get me wrong, after the Dubai trip last season, Gabriel, I think, was the best center back in the league next to Van Dijk. I think he was the best center back in the league, and he was scoring goals. He was doing things in the defensive side of the pitch, in the final third of the pitch. He was all over the place. He was incredible. I think he was better than Saliba. But people that were shitting on Saliba were like, okay, well, was he really putting in a stinker? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. So it's one of those things where I'm going to keep beating on this drum because, look, at the end of the day, and I'm going to sound like Lee Gunner here. That's why people call me the American Lee Gunner. At the end of the day, you're supposed to be winning trophies. At the end of the day, under Wenger, who we sacked,
they said that
escorted into retirement.
Yeah.
Was winning FA Cups like it was his job. Like, because he knew filling the trophy cabinet was how we make money. It was how we pay for the stadium. But no, like ever since then, it's been mediocrity, aura, building a cult of personality around a manager that hasn't won anything. Yeah. And that's my biggest problem with it. And look, people, and I've said lately that I'm Arteta doubt because I'm going to give him one more season. And if we are not showing, and if we're not looking by like January that we're in it, and we're not clear of these other teams, like obviously Man City is an exception, but we're not clear of the Liverpools, we're not clear of the Aston Villas, then we really got to look at ourselves.
No, I mean, for sure. But I also think not just Arteta though, bro. What about Edu as well? I think he has to be sacked. Like, look how slow, and then again, right? Like, so the business that you guys have done this window, like it doesn't move me. Like, I don't think Arsenal have gotten better from last season, right?
I haven't.
Calafiori, let's be honest, right? Most people were not watching Bologna last season, right? So you're kind of basing what you see from the Euros. He looked like a decent player in the Euros, but you didn't necessarily need a left back, right? You had Julian Timber coming back, and then you have Tomiyasu that could play there, right? Now, obviously, anybody's better than Zinchenko, and his country actually needs him, by the way. Like, go to war, bro. Stop being a footballer. But anyways, you don't need a Calafiori, right? To me, that's more of a luxury signing. And then this Marino deal that you guys are haggling over, if you're going to bring him in, get it done. Like, this deal, I swear it broke that he was about to sign for Arsenal like 2.5 weeks ago. He's still not here, right? And I don't think that he even starts for Arsenal. How are you going to have him in a pivot? I don't think that he complements Declan Rice. Marino's not good on the ball. He's not that good of a passer.
He's awful passing too. Like, and that's been our biggest issue is passing vertically from that left-sided 8.
So what you gonna have? Two deep. So you have a pivot of guys that are not good on the ball. How does that work?
Apparently.
So it's like, what are these signings, bro? Like, I don't get it, like, at all. I don't know what Edu's doing, moving real sluggish in the market, not moving with any sense of urgency, right? Like, the season kicked off a few days ago, only one signing in. And I'm just trying to, and again, this is why I said earlier, like, it seems like Arsenal are the team that's coming off of 4 straight Premier League titles, a Champions League a season or two ago. Like, that's how they're operating. Like, they've done their job, and now they're kind of moving a little slow. I don't get it.
Yeah, dude. My whole thought on the transfer window is that we're slow rolling, and we're gonna end this once we do bring in Moreno, because we will bring him in before the end of the window. People are gonna give this window like a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10
for 2 players. You think?
For 2 players? Well, I'm talking like people that are on the top gooner, positive side of it. Whereas I would give it like a 3 or a 2.
Yeah.
And that includes, selling ESR potentially. I would bump it to a 5 if we sold Eddie Nketiah. But other than that, we haven't addressed the striker position. We haven't gotten a viable backup for Bukayo Saka. Like, I appreciate Reece Nelson, but he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it enough done in the final third. He's very, very good with pace. He would die for the club on the pitch, but I don't think he's good enough. And behind him, we have Fabio Vieira, which if you've watched this channel at all, you know that I don't like talking about that individual. So I'm just going to slide right over that. I just look, man, we don't have that cover. We don't have that serious 8 that can push the ball up the pitch like Granit Xhaka did. Like, and don't get me wrong, when I talk about Granit Xhaka, I talk about Granit Xhaka in the last season that he played for us, not the previous 6. Like, he had signs of brilliance during that, but and I'm not going to get into, he threw the armband on the ground and flipped the bird to the fans. Like, see past all that and just realize that he was mediocre.
Yeah.
Mediocre.
For majority of the time at Arsenal, like, he'd score like one fantastic free kick, or like it was Xhaka Boom or something.
The Xhaka Boom against Man United 2 years ago that he's been eating on ever since. It's a joke.
I mean, like, the fans, they just kind of forget about all the other. Like, the other day when you guys played them in, what was it, the Emirates Cup, and you guys gave him a standing ovation.
They're hugging in the tunnel, bro.
Bro, a standing ovation for a guy that threw the armband and told you guys to fuck off. That's crazy to me, bro. And then he said that his move to Leverkusen was a step up. It's a team that's only won. Do you know? So in Leverkusen's history, they've won 5 trophies. 3 of them have come underneath Xabi Alonso in the last year. But that's a step up from Arsenal. That's crazy.
Yeah, Bundesliga, who I've been told is a farmers league, when we're looking more and more like a farmers league every season, bro. If Man City win it again this season, we're never going to recover from this,
bro. I mean,
we're never going to recover from this.
The Premier League is just the most entertaining farmers league in the world. You got to be real. If any other league had one team that won it 4 straight years, what would the fans be saying? So I mean, like, that's kind of how I view it. Like, fair is fair. I think, yes. Like, obviously, like, there are more big teams in England that buy these big name players. So it is going to get a lot more viewership, which is why the TV money is crazy. But at the end of the day, look, that's what Pep and Man City are turning it into.
Yep, 100%. Big up Staffy for the raid. Really, really appreciate it, my guy. Everybody, if you live under a rock and you're not subscribed to Staffy TV already, get out from under your rock and go subscribe to Staffy TV right now. His link is in the chat right now, and obviously it's in the description of every single live video, and he's on the featured channel page. So go and click that link and subscribe to Staffy. Griggs is also here. Go ahead and subscribe to Griggs, I guess, too. He's okay. He's a nice enough guy, right? Talks a lot. He talks too fast for me, Griggs. Sometimes it's hard to understand him. But maybe I'm slow. You know what I mean? That could be it too.
The thing is, like, when Griggs talks, when what's that thing from, like, Charlie Brown? The Delta was like wah, 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 wah. Yeah, like, that's all that I hear when Griggs talks. I'm just like, bro, this guy's
for real, bro.
Yeah,
for real, bro. The guy's absolute fraud.
Yeah, not Griggs. Give it up.
Give it up, bro. Give it up. We're the Give It Up twins. You're the Give It Up. You're the Give It Up inspiration, bro. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
The first waffler, I knew.
Exactly. But anyway, guys, get your questions in for me and Will. We're going to be live for probably about another 45 minutes to an hour, and then we are going to redirect over to United Spurs of America, where the American Waffle Pro Clubs team is going to be I don't know, losing in Division 1. I don't know what you guys are doing anymore.
Losing?
Okay.
I think Carnino might make his comeback today.
Is Carnino coming back tonight?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I
right,
just might have to bless the team and save them, right? Because when you got Staffy running the 10, he needs people to bail him out. You know what I'm saying? Like Staffy moves like Garnacho sometimes, right? You know, this is everywhere, so I say.
Greg's Nation sounded more and more like a cult every day. Congratulations. Yeah, but big up BG again. He says, so wait, Man City weren't good last year and we should be embarrassed to finish behind a team that has 4 on the trot. Can there be a contrarian opinion on this episode? BG, do you want the link? You want the link, BG? We'll send it to you. We can go ahead and turn this into a debate.
Yeah,
if you want to do this. Yeah, no,
BG,
let me know if you want the link. I'll send it right to you, Bo.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know. Big up BG every single time. No, and this is the kind of thing that I like on this show is that we want to disagree. So before we get into that though, I'm sorry, you got to answer for Real Madrid. You got to answer for Real Madrid.
I mean, like so early, bro. Like so, I mean, like
yeah, no. You got to answer. You got to answer for your.
Like, are we done talking Arsenal, bro? Like, what happened?
We're not done talking Arsenal, but we got to pivot real quick before BG gets here.
All right.
Before BG gets here, so tell me what happened yesterday. I was able to watch bits and pieces of it. Obviously, incredible goal by Rodrigo. Like, good Lord, that was world class. It's what you want to see out of a Real Madrid side, but they fell asleep at the end. So, are you worried at all?
I'm not worried. But bro, I ain't gonna lie, we was getting cooked. Yo, I was about watch along and see. So something that I complain about damn near every single game with Real Madrid is every single time it looks like the players are slow, they're lethargic. I'm like, yo, like, are we eating a big breakfast? Like, what are we doing? And there's so many things that I could get into, but you know, it's not a Madrid stream, so I'm gonna try. But bro. That midfield, right? Everybody just talks about Mbappe and him being in the side. And they do have to adjust and learn how to play with each other. But nobody ever seems to bring up the departure of Toni Kroos. That's a big hole left in midfield. Huge. And now we have nobody in that midfield that can control Mallorca were cooking us. They created more chances. They were in and around our box. The only reason that we did not lose that game is because Courtois is an amazing goalkeeper, arguably the best in the world. He's already in mid-season form. But if that was a better team, if we were playing Barca, Atletico, if it was the Champions League, Man City, Arsenal, Bayern, fucking Chelsea, bro, we would have got slapped by any team with more quality. We would have lost like 3-1 yesterday. And even before we scored that goal, they were still outplaying us, right? And one point that I do want to bring up before, you could get your say is, I remember I was talking to Staffy, right? And I don't know if Staffy is here, but I told him when we did a stream like the same day that Mbappe got presented, I told him that we are going to miss Joselu. He said, you're not going to miss Joselu. You have Mbappe and, so you have striker coming in. I'm like, bro, we need a different profile coming off the bench. All of our attackers are under 5'10". So now crossing the ball is pointless. Mbappe is like 5'9". Vinny and Rodrigo are 5'8". Endrick is 5'7", and you saw yesterday we had no way to break down that defense. And now coming off the bench is more people who are like 5'9" or 5'8". So it's like, what are we doing here? Like,
do you think it's going to be
exactly what I was talking about? But no, I'm not worried, right? I think look, it's a brand new system that we're learning to play with. And Mbappe, Vinny, Rodrigo, they have to learn how to play together. The midfield, they have to learn how to adjust without a Toni Kroos there. But see this guy. That's why Staffy's a fraud. All right, like all that he says. Look, like all that he sees is just these big name players, and he thinks, oh, you don't need a Joselu. Who's your third choice, right? Bro, it doesn't matter. He adds something different. He gives you a different dimension. If you're struggling with your passing, okay, now you need to try something maybe in the air. You got Joselu there. We don't have no aerial threats unless Jude crashes the box, like literally. So we're gonna be so one-dimensional this season. But nah, I'm not worried. I just think that Carlo needs to give them a little less freedom. He's giving them too much.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I mean, he's very much Don Carlo is very much a system manager. As much as he has these huge, big names inside of it, it's going to take a while for them. Like, if people thought that Mbappe was just going to go in, immediately score a hat trick in his first match, and then it was going to be over, they're fucking crazy. They're crazy. It's still professional football at the end of the day. He's coming from PSG where he was the team. There wasn't a system. The last 2 years at PSG, he has been the centerpiece. That's it. Ever since Messi left. And even when Messi was there, he wasn't being utilized and he was old. You know what I mean? Now he has to fit into a system where he may not be the best player game in and game out. And that's going to take some adjusting.
No, I mean, it's a fact. And I mean, bro, you should have seen my watch along chat when we were not up 5-0 against Atalanta in like the 20th minute. Everybody's like, there's this 0-0 in the 16th minute. I'm like, bro, what do you expect? This is Mbappe's first ever. Like, bro, he didn't even play preseason with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, bro, now what I will say is that right wing is non-existent, right? Like the average positioning of each player, you had Mbappe and Vinny literally on the left wing. You had Rodrigo playing as like a 10 kind of central. Yeah. Our right winger was Danny Carvajal because he was the only person that would have been over there, like in the attacks. And I think the issue that right we kind of, back, bro, he might as well be. There's nobody else there. And the thing is, something that I always gave Carlo credit for was he doesn't overcoach the players, right? Like, for example, you know how Arteta is on the touchline screaming and pointing and shit throughout the game? Like, dickhead. You're in a stadium with 60,000 people. They can't hear you. Like, you're just confusing them, right? Carlo doesn't do that. And I like that a lot. Like, he sets the team up, but he gives the team relative freedom in terms of last season in our 4-4-2, right? So, like, Vinny and Rodrigo would be the two strikers up top. And you would see Rodrigo maybe get the ball on the left wing, Vinny on the right. And then they would interchange. And he's letting them do that right now with Mbappe. But the issue is everybody is just naturally drifting left because that's where they feel the most comfortable. And I think if that continues, I'd say give it maybe one more game against Real Valladolid, who we should be slapping up regardless. You should slap them. Regardless of exactly. But if that happens again, I think now you do have to give them maybe some more instruction. Like, no, somebody needs to be on that right wing, whether you're interchanging or not. Somebody has to be there because you can't have the whole right side of the attack just not existing.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I was going to come in here and give you a ton of shit about it, but at the end of the day, like, and I don't watch a lot of La Liga, but I do watch a lot of number one, a lot of highlights, and number two, I'm trying to educate myself, so a lot of educational things. And I actually listened to a podcast about Don Carlo recently, and he developed systems around star players. You know, like I think there was where did he do it? Was it Inter Milan? Or Juve, I don't remember which one he was at. Again, forgive me if I'm committing a mortal sin here.
Like he was at
Milan,
AC, Chelsea.
When he had Kaká and a bunch of fucking stars in there, and AC, and he like built the diamond midfield, and where Kaká ended up shining. Like this is where you end up going. You know, this is where you need to give him time to develop a system around these players, and he will, and they'll cook, and they'll likely win the Champions League. And with that, we're going to bring in our guest from the back. He was in the chat. Now he's here with us. We got BG, the Bearded Gooner, making his return to the channel. Big up, BG. How you doing, dude?
Good, man. What's going on, fellas? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, for sure.
I got it. I'm using my phone because I'm actually at work right now. But that's how important this conversation is to me, that I told a bar full of people that they needed to wait. No, I'm kidding. There's not a bar full of people downstairs, believe me. But anyway, no, man, I hear you guys talking about this Arteta thing, and I don't want to, I don't want to backtrack or bogart anything here.
No, that's all good.
Man, no, that's what this is about.
Carnage. You are creating carnage with this. Arteta out? What am I hearing right now?
Oh, nah, Bearded Gooner. You're Arteta in, man. Okay, why? Go ahead. Let me hear you, bro. Let me hear you.
All right. So, number one, I think if you want to use Chelsea as an example for anything, all of the bodies that they're just buying bodies at this point. Like, I am fairly convinced that what Chelsea and Todd Bowley are trying to do is just buy every player so that there's no one left for any other team to buy, and by default, Chelsea just wins everything. If we have all the players, no one else could play us, so we just automatically win. But the way that look, Mauricio Pochettino, despite one of his previous employers, whose name shall not be mentioned on this program, is a good football manager. Mm-hmm. He's a good manager, and Chelsea get rid of him after a year. And that makes no sense to me, because in 1 year, what do you really accomplish in a year if you're not going to do the things that Real Madrid do, as you guys were just discussing, or the things that a Manchester City do? Arsenal aren't buying simply the best players in the world. They're buying who Arteta and Edu feel are the best players, are the right players for what they're trying to do. And at the end of the day, this is the way I kind of look at it. Yes, there are 4 trophies that we're going to compete for. 3 of those trophies we will compete against the same competition. And I will say that the FA Cup and the League Cup, he has absolutely butchered those competitions. Not even getting to a quarterfinal in 3 years now in either of those competitions for the team that we have is tragic. But there's no way that I'm Arteta out for finishing runner up the past 2 years to arguably the best team in Europe. I mean, I saw an example of somebody said, it was either AJ or Scott in the chat, that by my logic, if he loses out to Villa and Emery, and I don't even, or Slot at Liverpool, that he should be sacked. Well, does that mean that Pep should have been sacked the year after Liverpool won the league and Manchester City came in second?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And at the end of the day, this isn't we're not going to simply do what Real Madrid and Manchester City do and buy the best players. There's a process here. I will say that process should be done by now.
Okay.
So I do think that a lot of what we've heard tonight, a lot of what you guys have said, a lot of what the chat has said, and kind of what I'll say, 2 things can be true at the 2 kind of divergent opinions can be true at the same time. I am not an Arteta out guy, but he does have to start producing more results. 3 second place finishes in a row in the league is going to be okay. We're the bridesmaid here, guys, never the bride. What do we need to do? How do we get over that hump? I wouldn't be Arteta out this year, probably not next year. But if there are no trophies between now and then, then we've got to start talking about a hot seat. But the question again becomes...
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
The only other question that I would ask you is this. If you sack him, who replaces him? And I saw Klopp and Zidane. Like, guys, they're not coming here. That's not going to happen. Okay, Klopp is done. Klopp will not coach another English team, period. End of discussion. I'll die on that hill.
Yeah.
Zidane, I'll be honest, I just think right off the bat he would want too much money, and the Cronkies wouldn't back him the way he would want to be backed, because Zidane is another coach like Pep. Buy me the best players. Just get me the best players so I can do.
Well, that's not true, is it?
But
that's not true. That's not true, Bear Laguna. That's not true, bro. That's not true. Pep. So let's go back to the Arteta thing. Maybe we'll talk about Pep a little bit. But all right, so you're saying that you wouldn't be Arteta out if you guys don't win it this year, and you said not next year. You said now after next season, then maybe we could talk about a hot seat.
Kind of crazy.
So what you're saying is that you would give Arteta, because he won a trophy in his first 6 months with Unai Emery's squad, but you're saying that you'll give him 6 years until he wins his next one after spending. Right, and I don't even want to use the euro amount. Let's use pounds, because like Arsenal or English club. So Arteta has spent the equivalent of 648 million pounds. That's 64% to $1 billion, and he has nothing to show for that. So it's like, when now is the time to demand that kind of success? Because is he supposed to be here for 10 years before you could wait for a trophy, or what?
I mean, for me, it comes down to the trophy is the end result, right? Okay. The trophy, I mean, obviously, pun fully intended here, or whatever you want to say, it's the big shiny thing at the end. But what he has done here is he's taken a team that was wallowing in mediocrity, and he changed the culture, and he has developed, when you see the young players that Bukayo Saka, Let's start there. Now, I think that Bukayo Saka was going to be a world-class player, maybe not world-class, but with Arteta and his tutelage, he's a world-class player right now. William Saliba, same thing. Gabriel, and I'm talking about Big Gabby at the back. William Saliba, I don't know where people come down on the world class with William Saliba. I would not say that either one of them are the best center backs in the world individually, but they are the best center back pairing in the world. There are none better. And so from a coaching, because there's a big difference between being a manager and a coach. He's changed culture, and that's not an easy thing to do. He came in and he took a club that was big club, expected big things, kind of always got there, couldn't get over the hump. You know, I mean, we've got our Premier League trophies from 20 years ago and beyond. Couldn't win a Champions League and then fell off because we waited too long to get rid of Wenger. That won't happen here, but the culture and the change that needed to take place from top to bottom within the club, and I'm talking even the way that ownership thinks about things, wasn't going to happen overnight. And so when the results don't produce overnight, you can't have that quick hook. You know, he's got to have time, just like a player does when he goes to a new team. He's got to have a little bit of time to settle in.
He's had a lot of time to settle in, though.
But you're not going to overhaul the entire. But you're not going to overhaul the entire club carnage in one.
But this is
let me ask you a question. Let me ask a question that I don't think is getting enough attention here. By the way, smash the likes. And before I forget, I want to call out the super chat that I didn't call out earlier, which was absolutely hilarious. TJ, at least you didn't draw to an island this weekend, unlike Will's team. That was hilarious. Big up, Strasbourg Steve. make sure that you're subscribed to Strasbourg Steve right now, people. Make sure that he is an absolute legend. If there are any mods in the chat, go ahead and put his link in the title. No, I want to ask Bearded Gooner a question that I don't like. And look, I want to be super Arteta in. I want to be like, yes, he's the guy to get us into the future. But the shiny thing, in my opinion, shouldn't be the end. It should be the journey as we go along, because we win trophies. I mean, is our trophies the end of the line for guys like Pep, for guys like Carlo, for like that's my question. And then let me follow up.
Mm-hmm.
How long are these players, these world-class or borderline world-class players, gonna wait before they start looking at the Real Madrids, before they start looking at the cities, before they start looking at other European powerhouses to go to win legitimate hardware?
We'll be in touch for Saliba, by the way. Don't worry.
I know, dude. Don't even say that to me. So yeah, no, BG. What's your thoughts on that? Because eventually, folks are going to start looking the other way. Especially, like, I do fear that if we do fall short this season, that they're going to start looking for greener pastures. Just playing devil's advocate here.
For sure. And I think as long as we're in the conversation, and let's face it, we're in the conversation. And let me caveat my previous statement about giving him the next 2 seasons. Look, if the wheels come off this season, then there's a conversation to be had. I mean, every manager, every coach in every sport has a shelf life, right? You want long-term sustained success, which is what Carlo Ancelotti has, which is what Pep has, which is what Klopp had. You know, that's what you want. You know, Rafa Benitez, you know, we can go down the list of these managers that had the long-term sustained successes. And that's what we want. But it's got to start somewhere. And the success, only one team can win these trophies. Only one.
Right.
And that's the thing that I think is lost on a lot of people is, why aren't we the one? Well, because we needed to play just a tick better in certain situations, right?
Yep.
When you're coming up against a powerhouse like a Manchester City, again, my question would be, where's the shame in fishing to a team that has, oh, by the way, I mean, and they are on the pitch. They are arguably the greatest collection of talent that this sport has ever seen in the last 2 or 3 years. They're above and beyond anything we can even fathom. All right. The thing for me It's always a process, and you're right, it's always ongoing. How do we get better? And I've always posed a question, and I'm not necessarily asking this to either of you or to the chat, but something that I've always asked people, like for City have won the league 4 years on the trot.
Yep.
What changes do they really need to make to their roster? But then I see people we haven't done anything in the transfer window yet. Why aren't we doing anything in the transfer window? I'm not saying we don't need to, but
Yeah.
if we won the league, 4 years, like if we're right there, and I said this at the end of last season, people were like, oh, the loss to Aston Villa at home, like in whatever it was, March or April. That's not where we lost the league. We lost the league at home in the second game of the season to Fulham, to a 10-man Fulham team, when we drew them after being up 2-0 at halftime. Those are the moments.
Nah, but Bearded.
The talent.
Wait, but Bearded. But Bearded, hold on, wait. See, because you guys didn't lose to Man City last season, right? You guys played them twice. You picked up points every game. It was literally in Arsenal's hands until you lost to Villa. That game right there, if you would have just won out like what you guys were doing all second half of last season until that game, you win the league.
I kind of hear what Bearded Gooner's saying here though, because I was playing. No, dude, I was saying, and people are gonna be, oh, dude, you're super negative. Hindsight's 2020. Monday morning quarterback. No, I was saying after. Sorry, I've been doing this a while. I was saying after that Fulham match that now, like, these are the games that we need to be winning. Especially, like, don't even talk about Fulham at home. Talk about Fulham away on December 31st. Why didn't we talk about
there's
that?
Another one.
When we were playing at Craven Cottage and we mailed in an absolute stinker. We went home after the first 5 minutes. These are the moments where Arteta needs to be kicking these guys in the ass and say, hey, you know what? This isn't enough now. We need to step on their fucking necks and get these 3 points and go home. And he doesn't do that.
We've now seen in the last 2 seasons that there is literally no room for error. If Manchester City are going to continue to do what they're doing, there's no room for error. Right now, I do think we are clear of Liverpool and Villa. We are, until we take down Manchester City, we're the second best team in the league. And it's competitive. It's not City here and then there's a sharp drop off to us. That's not a thing. We need to firm up those 1 or 2, maybe 3 moments. This is Arteta's job, boys. I will not debate or argue that point with the two of you. That's his job. Your job, not only making these players better, these young players, because it's been that young profile, or that the profile has been the young players that he can mold and shape and coach up, right? Mm-hmm. But you've also got to get that mentality, TJ. And I agree with you 100%, that these teams that you should beat, you need to beat them. That's it. And when you when you don't drop points to any of the top 5, I mean, I suppose you could say the scumbags at home last year, the 2-2 draw, points dropped, especially from a winning position, not once.
Brutal points dropped.
Oh, it was so bad. I was there. It was so bad.
You were there?
Bad. Yeah, I was there,
bro.
And that was the last game of that trip that I saw. And it's like, you boys are sending me home on this note. Really?
Blame.
This is what
hashtag blame Jorginho now.
No, wait. So Bearded.
Look.
So Bearded. So I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I think Arteta is not awful manager, but he's a bum in terms of when it comes to getting things over the line. He can't do it. I know that you brought up stability. I think stability is irrelevant, right? Because now stability, if you want to use that comes now with complacency, which I kind of think that's where you're at, is that like you're complacent kind of with Arsenal being second, but you do acknowledge that more needs to be done. So my thing is, right, you brought up like Ancelotti and Pep and Klopp. Okay, so if you look at the 3 most successful clubs since 2000, right, since the year 2000, right, I believe it's Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. What's something that they all do? They get rid of managers, right? Like, this isn't something that you're going to just... And again, you got a big club like Arsenal. This is not Ipswich. This is not Luton Town. This is not Burnley. It's Arsenal. If you can't get the job done, the reason why Arsenal are the 3rd biggest club in England is because of trophies, right? It's not because of anything else. So for me, I think Arteta, yes, he has done a good job in terms of building up the squad that he has right now, but I don't think he's going to be good enough to get it over the line. And I think what separates Man City from the rest of the league isn't even the players that are on the pitch. I think it's the mentality of the fans, because at City, they demand them to win. At Arsenal, at, let's say, Tottenham, Manchester United, Liverpool, the fans make excuses for losing. Like, for me personally, I just don't get how a guy who would not have a trophy if it was not for Unai Emery's squad is still here. That's my main thing. And second, right, I know that you brought up about City. They buy the best players. I don't think, aside from Erling Haaland, what world-class player has Man City bought?
As a world-class player when they bought him?
Yes. There's none. Like Pep, yes, they do spend money, but a majority of the signings that they make are not world-class.
And they do. I mean, he buys system players that fit into his system. I mean, and obviously he's had a few stinkers.
It's exactly what Arteta does. It's exactly what Arteta does.
But
Pep's winning while doing it. A lot bigger.
Yeah. It's like he's winning while doing it. So now it's like, okay, Arteta's about to be in his 5th year. So, and again, I kind of want to go back to earlier. You said not this season and not next season. So now it's 7 years, 1 trophy. You don't think that that's how the standards get lowered? And then let's say if in these next 2 years, Chelsea, they do figure it out. Chelsea win a few more major trophies. They win like 2 or 3. I think now they pass Arsenal. Now you're the 4th biggest club. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, you have to keep the standards high. And there's nothing wrong with sacking managers. And last thing before I let when you guys go, you said, so who would I bring in? I can't tell you. Thank God I'm not Edu. It's not my job. But what I'm saying is show the ambition, right? And stop being complacent with where you're at right now.
And here's the difference, I think. And here's the difference, I think, between and I haven't heard this before. So let me know if you guys agree or disagree. Yep. I think a lot of people, especially in the Arsenal fan base, expected Arteta to come in and bring the culture and bring the winning mentality that had been severely lacking at this club, with Wenger obviously not winning any major honors since the mid-2000s. Why is that the job of the head coach or the manager? Why isn't the board doing that? Why aren't the leaders at the top saying, hey, you know what? We are Arsenal Football Club. We do not settle for 5th place finishes when we should be getting 4th. We shouldn't be settling for 1st place or 2nd place finishes when we should be getting 1st. Like the difference between Arsenal and Real Madrid is that it comes from the top.
No,
like
true.
They are willing to go and they say no bullshit. You either win or you are out. Like Ancelotti was winning trophy after trophy after trophy, and they were ready to sack him because they didn't think the football was good enough at the time. They were talking about this 2 years ago, saying that he was probably going to be coaching in Argentina. Like they were. So I think that's the difference. I mean, agree or disagree.
Well, the thing is, okay, so one, right? I think Arsenal, the mentality at Arsenal, it's not a winning culture. Like, that's like what I would say, right? And I think
like
that
we're at one point, though. That's the difference.
Maybe like way back in the day. But I think like that precedent was set kind of in terms of we'll just settle for top 4 when Arsene Wenger was there, right? And it just seemed, I remember, didn't he say that top 4 is like winning a trophy, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something
like that. And then I truly believe that fans, they've adopted that. And you see it by how they praise because here's the thing. Wenger was hounded out the club for just coming top 4 and not being able to get over the line. And then you bring in Unai Emery, right, who wasn't given any time, only had a season and a few months, right, came 5th, then he gets hounded out the club. Then Arteta comes what, 8th, what, 5th, and then 2nd twice, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yep.
So now we're so now we're praising Arteta for doing what Wenger did, and that's just be top 4, because coming 2nd doesn't really matter if you don't get over the line. And 20 years from now, nobody's going to remember that Arsenal came 2nd these 2 years. They're going to just see that Man City won it. Everything else is irrelevant, right? And I just think that Arsenal are showing complacency by keeping him here. And look, he's here. I'm not saying to sack him right now, but I think at the end of this season, if he does not win a trophy, he should quit. He shouldn't even have to be sacked. Him and Edu, they both need to go. Because clearly they're just not the job, like they're not the guys for the job. And then the question is, well, do you trust the Cronkies to get the next person in? Yes.
Well, and so TJ, to answer your question, I think the reason that it falls to the manager is because the manager is the guy who sees all of these people the most. He's the common denominator. He's the midpoint between ownership and boot guy, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying, like, I'm not trying.
I know
to
what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so, he's got the players and he sees them every day. But the players may not see ownership every day, but he probably does. The players don't speak to ownership every day, but he probably does. So the reason that responsibility would fall to the manager is, are you really going to take this heat from a guy that you don't ever see? Like, it's like Santa Claus. I hope there are no kids watching, but it's like Santa Claus coming into this bar and telling me how to do my job. Like, dude, I see you once a year. Who are you?
But the owner, he doesn't have to be there though, Barry, because there's people that he hires to run the operations of the club. Like the owner doesn't have to be present.
But even those people, Carnage, are they're the man in the high castle, right? Okay. Even those people do. So it's the common denominator between, I'll say, football ownership, football operations, and the players. Really, when you think about it, there's ownership, football ops, coaching, and players. Now you could throw in equipment, you can throw in physio, all that, but I'm saying the four, main branches of a football club: ownership, football ops, coaching, players. The manager is the guy that goes around and is visible to all four of those departments. So that's why I think the job falls to him. I'm just kind of spitballing here to answer the question.
That's fine.
But I think, for me, and I'll let you guys go after this. I'm like,
yeah. Do we lose him?
Okay, I was gonna say, like, did my internet just
working,
go?
man, and it's been hard to me. Oh shit!
No, we lost you there for a second, BG. But
yeah,
go ahead.
You're back. Yeah, I think you're back.
Maybe.
Oh,
maybe not.
Maybe not. All right.
Okay, well we can stare at that beautiful bearded face for about 2 more seconds, and then I'm gonna,
I'm
gonna escort him to the door.
That's how my
there he is. Now you're back.
Is it me or is it just me?
No,
doing that?
You're good. You're good.
You're good now. You're good now. You're good now.
Okay. The thing for me, and I will say this: if this year the wheels start to fall off, I'd start to have the conversation. If the wheels fall off and we finish, I'll go as far as to say fourth. If we drop down to 4, we still qualify for Champions League, but it's fourth, and we're not really in the conversation for top of the league. It's the gap is 12 points, 13 points. There's got to be a conversation. Okay, what happened? How do we fix it? You start next season, but understand that leash for you is real short. You're going to get out to about 4 games, and you're going to feel that jerk back all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the only other thing I would say is consider ownership, and the more and more American influence that gets brought into this sport, with Todd Boehly being the obvious exception to this. I think you're going to see Manchester United. If Ten Hag isn't the guy, and right now they've given him another year, but if Ten Hag isn't the guy, I think the next guy they go with, he's going to get a long leash, and they're going to say, look, as long as you see improvement year to year to year, and the only improvement left for us to make is a trophy or 2 or 3. I know people who are like, I don't give a shit about the League Cup, but we better win the Premier League, the Champions League, and the FA Cup, or he's gone. And I'm like, you need him to win all 3, or you're Arteta out. And they're like, yep. 100%.
Yeah, no, like, that's a bit extreme. But I definitely
that is
obviously
a bit extreme.
So like once you sack a manager and then you bring a new one in, like, yeah, they do get a longer leash, even if things aren't going that well. I think each manager, in my opinion, every manager should be given 2 seasons. Like, that's why I like when I see deals and the manager got like a 3-year contract or a 2-year deal. That's what I like, because to me, you shouldn't be getting comfortable here. And I don't like feeling comfortable, even like with doing like YouTube, for example, right? Like making videos. Like, I don't like feeling like I'm just doing enough, right? I feel like you have to always be looking to get better, because
for sure.
Yeah, so for me, managers should always be under pressure. And if you don't want to be under pressure, then you should not be at a big club. Like,
I think
that's just how it is.
I think what the Kroenkes see, and I don't disagree with them. I don't disagree with them on this. Is that I see progress, and you can say 8-8-5-2-2. Well, you went 8-8. Where's the progress there? And then you got to 5. Okay, you see the progress, and then you went to 2, and I see the progress. But then you came 2 again. Where's the progress there? And I think there's a maturity, a very young team 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And there's been progress in terms of performance on the pitch. These players are growing, and what I think Arteta and Edu and the Kroenkes are trying to do, kind of back to TJ's point, with the consistent, sustained success is, and again, Carnage, the minute you sack that coach, the next guy, you're now resetting the clock.
Well, that's not true if you go get an elite manager, right? So at Madrid, right, we sack managers, but the clock doesn't restart, right? Now, let's say if we sack Carlo, right, like next month, and then you go get a young manager that, okay, then maybe you could say that. But then again, at the same time, it's like, no, the clock does not have to restart because you still would have the same squad full of world-class players that Arsenal fans think that they have. So it doesn't really have to be a hard reset, right? Like, the expectation should always be to be winning something, bro. It's Arsenal. And, like, that's all that I'm saying, BG, is that I just think that, like, if a lot of fans kind of have, like, that same mentality of, okay, well, now Arteta out no matter what this season or next. So now you're telling me 7 years you're going to give him?
No, not no matter what. Not no matter what.
Okay.
Not no matter. Like I said, if the wheels fall off this season, and you'll know because Unai Emery lost the dressing room. That's why Unai Emery was sacked. Unai Emery's a damn good football manager. He's
a great manager.
He really, really is.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. He came in at the wrong time for this club. You never want to be the guy that follows the legend. Follow the guy that follows the legend.
Yeah, bro. That's why I think Slott's going to fail.
What's that? What'd you say?
No. I was agreeing with you. I said that's why I think Slott's going to fail. I kind of always use the girl example,
I don't think
right?
he's going to
You
fail.
don't want to be the guy that dates the girl after she got out of her 8-year relationship. Like, you want to be the guy after that guy.
Right.
That's how I
go have your rebound. Go have your rebound.
Yeah. I don't want to be the rebound. Yeah, exactly. Because it just never works. And I get what you're saying, right? Like, I feel like, and if, let's say hypothetically, if Arteta was hired right after Wenger, I don't think he's the manager. Like, right.
I don't think he does any better than Unai Emery did, and I don't think he would have gotten any more time. I think the big change, the big shift came. The Kroenkes tried to do this like an NFL club. They tried to do it like it was the Rams, and that doesn't work. That didn't work here at this club. And I will say,
what do you mean though by that? Like, what do you mean? Kind of like they tried to do like
when they thought in terms of buying players, they didn't. I don't really think the Kroenkes understood fully how I don't really know how else to say, other than just the business of football, soccer. I don't think the Kroenkes understood how soccer worked at that point.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't. Oh.
You met Staffy. You know Staffy.
Yes, I did. Big up, Staffy. What up, man?
I'm sorry that you had that experience. I'm sorry.
Carnage. It was. Listen, man. I was drinking the whole time. I'm not real sure what experience I had. I got to be honest with you.
It was a fun experience for sure.
Carnage, there might be pictures and videos that I don't know about floating around out there, and I'm just like, I'm gonna autograph.
I know I have about 7 of them on my phone, but anyway.
Real quick, BG, before you head on out of here, right?
Yeah.
I'm noticing, bro, you have a fantastic beard, right? Now, it's somebody that's growing theirs out, right? Like, are you seeing the progression? You know, like maybe I could zoom in.
I see where he's going with this. I love this, by the way.
It's like you know. Look,
when was the last time you shaved?
Like this morning, bro. Come on, man.
What are we even talking about here, bro?
You know, like guys like us got to shave often, bro. You know, so like, look, one day I'm gonna just show up on TJ Warren TV looking like James Harden, and then everybody's gonna be like, "Whoa, who's that?" And I'm like, "I told you guys, I was growing my beard out." You know.
Oh my God. Okay, one final point, and then we're gonna start wrapping up just a little bit here.
So I
But
didn't mean to bogart your show, TJ.
no,
but
you
thanks
didn't.
for
You
letting
know,
me
you
Nah,
know.
bro,
didn't.
great convo, great convo.
Yeah,
BG.
no, great convo. That's why
Yeah.
That's why titles of YouTube streams can change. No, so last thing that I'm gonna say about the Cronkies is that you were kind of bringing up the LA Rams. I think a more, and BG, you're gonna get this because you're a hockey fan. I think a more appropriate metaphor is the Colorado Avalanche. They came in here.
I agree.
They came in here and back in 20, Patrick Waugh left, who was the legend of our team, and then they hired Jared Bednar, worst team in the league, and we start drafting young talent, trading for young talent, and then 4 years or what? How many years was it? It was like 6 years later. We were winning divisions, and we won the Stanley Cup 6 years later. Like that's what he was trying to do they were trying to do at Arsenal. Young coach, former player, like knew how to run a locker room, so on and so forth.
Yep.
I don't think that necessarily translates to Premier League all the way. Like we need to be plugging in players and experienced players more quickly than what we've seen thus far, which is why I get super worried when we do have gaps in this squad. I wouldn't say huge gaps, but gaps that need to be addressed that will end up costing us, or earning us that extra 1 or 2 points. Who's going to make that save? Who's going to make that play? I really don't think that we have all the starting 11 assembled that we can depend on to do that yet. Like Zinchenko again, and I'm not trying to go down a rabbit hole, but we need to be looking at replacements for Zinchenko. We need to be looking for a true box to box. I mean, again, and I'm eating my words.
But TJ, who built this squad?
I know, and that's what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
Though Carnage is that people are going to use the excuse that it's not complete yet. But the problem is where I'm going to tag Arteta with blame is that he is keeping these pieces that are glaringly not good enough. Not good enough.
And the ones that they think might be somewhat good enough, he's not playing.
Yeah.
You gave Reece Nelson 100,000 pounds a week in a contract extension last year, and then you played him the second fewest minutes of anyone in the Premier League that qualified for the stat. That's
same with
crazy.
Mo Elneny.
I mean, I'm a Mo Elneny guy. You know
I know you're a Mo Elneny guy, but I'm just saying, like they brought him on like an Egyptian victory cigar half the time. Like he wasn't really doing much.
Right.
So it's it's one of those things.
ESR is the glaring example.
Too. Yep.
So
ESR is a glaring example. Fabio Vieira is a glaring example. I mean, and we can go deep on this again, but again, final thought that I want to give is congratulations to Tottenham Hotspur on drawing to Leicester City today. Well fought.
I think you mispronounced scumbags.
Well fought, yeah. Oh, sorry, scumbags.
Man, chicken on a beach ball FC. Season's already
chicken
over
on a beach
before
ball
it started.
FC. Yeah, season. Yeah,
crazy. Season's over before it started.
Bro, I was hearing 4-0. I was hearing 5-0 away.
Were you tuned in to United Spurs of America's channel today? Oh, it was great content.
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing is I'm gonna go. I have to work. But instead of, I'm going to send you guys over to United Spurs of America because that's where the American Waffle Boards are going to be playing pro clubs. But I'm going to go, actually, while I'm working, I'm going to go back and listen to the highlights of that stream because it has to be just some A1 content.
Fantastic.
So Jacob's on that list. Expressions is on that list. There's a few Tottenham creators that are on that list. So I need a good laugh. But hey, that's the show, guys. If you guys enjoyed this late show, make sure that you are smashing the likes, subscribing to Carner, subscribing to Loose Cannons TV. His link will be in the title as well. Drop your comments. Do you agree with Bearded Gooner? Do you disagree with Bearded Gooner? Do you agree with Carnage? Do you agree with me? Do you think my beard is incredible? Put it in the comments. I reply to every single fucking comment. So before we move on, Bearded Gooner, plug your stuff, my man, and thanks again for coming on.
You can find me on the socials. Just search the Bearded Gooner on Twitter/X. It's Bearded Gooner, DA Bearded Gooner. Yeah, like TJ said, Loose Cannons TV. Just look up, just do a search for Loose Cannons Arsenal. Should be the first one that pops up. We've got a new betting show coming your way on Thursday. I've got my co-defendant, Arse Bros Ryan, our good friend 3-Point Sniper, and the Coochie versus the Bookies is going to be with us on Thursday as well. We were 12-0 at the weekend.
12-0.
I'm telling you, like, get involved, kids, because we're on a heater. We are on the heater of all heaters. I'm talking, we are the mothers of heaters. Get involved. New show coming your way also on Wednesday. Loose Cannons TV. Loose Cannons TV. Loose Cannons TV.
Big up, Beardy Gooner. And of course, my brother from American Waffle, Will. Shout yourself out, bro. What are you doing next?
Yeah, man, yo, big up TJ, big up BG, a great conversation. Look, official debut on the channel, right? I think I put in a 9 out of 10 level performance, hat trick,
absolutely.
Man of the match.
Hat trick, man of the match. You get the ball, you get the game ball, bro.
Game ball, the trophy with the pick. Okay, all right, awesome. Now, yo, you guys can find me on YouTube at Football Carnage. Madrid fan, but obviously from this conversation, you guys can tell that I do like watching Arsenal as well. I kind of just talk about like everything. It's like general football stuff. I do a lot of transfer live streams, and we touch on different things. A lot of watch-alongs on the channel as well. So at Football Carnage on YouTube. And yeah, what's next? Tomorrow probably gonna have like a Madrid live show. And then I'll be dropping some videos throughout the day as well. So big up, man, for bringing me on. And it was nice talking to you as well, BG. Nice.
Likewise, Carnage. Hey, listen, man, I'll drop a subscription as soon as we're done here.
Vice versa.
If you're on Twitter X, I'll find you on there too, man.
Got you, bro.
Absolutely. And of course, this has been the late show, and we will be continuing to do iterations of this. I can't say it's going to be as consistent as I would like over the next couple of weeks. Just got a lot of shit going on between work and family, but that will be over very, very soon. And we will be back. We will be back. Jesus, we will be back for the regular watch-alongs, I believe, after, not this weekend, but the following weekend. So Labor Day weekend here in the U.S., I will be returning for watch-alongs, and I will be doing a match reaction, of course, for Aston Villa versus Arsenal away. And then, of course, the American Idiot Show will return this week. I just have to figure out when me and Dal can do it. So make sure that you guys tune in. Go over to United Spurs of America, say TJ Warren TV raid. Congratulations on the draw, Jacob. That's what you guys need to put in there. Congratulations on the draw, and we will see you guys next time.